We reconstruct this broadcast. I used to play Monopoly with my family on game nights. Sometimes my strategies to be financially stable worked out, and other times they did not. The new TV station at UGA has some financial concerns as to if their strategy will work out or not. During the current recession, WNEG-TV, UGA's new TV station, is not alone. Many mass media outlets, such as newspapers, magazines, and TV stations, are struggling, and some are closing. They will need to re-strategize for the future, and hopefully pass go. Mass media outlets have to be creative with their finances to stay afloat. The main result of this recession on the WNEG-TV station at UGA is the completion date being pushed back. Many studios have had to readjust their plans to update their ever-improving technology associated with media arts. Across the country, TV and radio outlets are in the midst of a cost-cutting effort that is reshaping the industry. Some stations are relying on old methods to redirect their stations in more productive paths. There are basic principles that everyone looks for, and the stations are just trying to recapture them. UGA's broadcasting director and professor for the news production class, Stephen Smith, says some things don't really change much over time. People still want to hear stories. Although, some people believe returning to older ways of producing television would hinder the media industry even further. Other stations are resorting to alternative techniques associated with the new millennium. Some news broadcasts have started to put more effort into video news on their websites, instead of just emphasizing articles. Webcasts are the next generation of the changing media in TV, says Smith. A few have also adapted to even more recent popular trends in technology, such as podcast newscasts. Their station's news would be presented either in video format or in a form similar to radio segments that are downloadable through iTunes. Some of these stations include BBC World News, NBC Nightly News, CNN's CNN Daily, and more. The internet seems to be a savior for many stations throughout the U.S. There are supposedly plans for financial aid to support this new station at the university, but only for 5 years. Many students and teachers are asking what will happen after those 5 years are up. This seems to echo what's going on in the stations that are not based out of a university. Broadcast stations have been, for the most part, self-sufficient in bringing in their own income, but the recession is testing those rules. If funds run out, there may have to be more budget cuts in different areas of the university, perhaps more specifically Grady College. Some are afraid of budget cuts, thus creating less opportunities to provide classes. Furlough days have not affected us since we don't have class on Fridays, says Smith. There have been a number of donations from a variety of people, Athens citizens, teachers, students, and more, to keep some classes going. This might seem like a hope for the best, expect for the worst kind of cliched problem, but it's so tangible that it makes you wonder if it is not just plausible, but perhaps correct. Many media outlets rely on advertising as a source of income. Unlike the station at the university, the advertising economy is also struggling. Most video media, such as television, movie productions, and more, rely heavily on advertising to keep their distribution stations from shutting down. Some say that this market, the media market, will face more and deeper cuts if the advertising climate does not improve by next fall. Advertising seems to follow the trend of TV stations and other mass media outlets. Stephen Smith says that advertising, along with the television, is changing media and moving to the internet. By doing this, the advertising industry may also be able to save themselves from reconstructing their format. Media outlets are how the public keeps up with the going-ons in their local communities and their national one. It gives people a connection to places other than their own, and if they close down or have less money to distribute this information, people will most likely feel left out. Mass media outlets everywhere have been affected by the recession in one way or another. In response to this, some outlets are returning to the old and true methods of their craft. Others are using new alternative techniques, while others still are using both new and old techniques to keep their industry alive. The real question mass media outlets seem to be facing is not if they need to reorganize, but what is the best way to restructure themselves to stay financially sound.